folks, I've got 10 o'clock, so I'll call the meeting to order. So we'll start with agenda additions and approval. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering if we could maybe discuss the closing of the research centers. It's one of the letters that Lacombe sent out. But I think we should support that to try and get them to reverse it.
Yeah, so I think I did see it in here. Is there some correspondence here already on that?
Yeah, it's one of the letters. It's in correspondence.
Can we discuss it there?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, thank you. Any other topics? Rob, did you have something? While Rob is looking for that, we have it's a special day for Rob today. It's his birthday.
Oh, geez.
Congratulations.
All right.
Would you like happy birthday, Rob?
I'm good. I'm good.
I got a special song for that, you know.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Rob. Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
I'm just struggling. We're saying in our correspondence, I see where we have Lacombe.
I think it's 10-2, federal funding cut to
Oh, that's
agriculture.
under Clearwater County.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Nope. Rob, did you have
Yeah,
anything?
we were going to add the Bashaw tour,
Right.
scheduling that. Yeah.
Thank you. And we're under maybe new business, 9.8. Does that work?
Sure.
So 9.8, Bashaw recyclture. All right. Anything else? Can get someone to, I guess, move that agenda addition? Thank you, Larry.
I will move it.
Thank you, Board Member Clark. All in favor? Carried.
In favor.
Thank you. Minute approval. February 18th board minutes. Okay.
I noticed there's one typo in there under 120021826. It's the beaver control policy. It's written as 3.026 and it should be 3.13.
Okay.
Nicely caught.
Thank you, Rob. Board Member Brooke.
Well, I would move it as amended. Or moved.
Yeah. Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor?
In favor.
Carried. All right. We'll move. Got no introduction, so we'll move right into reports. You're up, Rob.
Perfect. Yeah, so we've been fairly busy on the administrative side. We've been working on our strat plan, which unfortunately didn't make it into this meeting today, but that's all right. We've been also working on our seasonal work plan, so we can have something lined up sort of day by day, and trying to get the public works projects and things like that as our rainy day sort of projects in the middle of things, so we always have stuff for the staff to do throughout the season. As well, we've been collecting grain bags from February to now. We've collected approximately 30 more bags. I've cut that off now that it's getting soggy. I went out Monday and made a mad dash to get the last of them before things kind of ran away on us. So I think we're in good shape, but most guys say they're pretty well wrapped up, so should be good. Also, we've been working with Catalyst back and forth on our weed inspection mapping updates to improve our data collection, and that seems to be coming along quite well. So I'm hoping by the end of March, we'll be able to actually beta test that. And if we have a little back and forth, it should be ready to go by the time we're actually inspecting it out in the field. And then on the note of inspections, we've been working on an inspection matrix communications package and some training protocols for that, which we included in the package for you guys to review later. We've also been working on social media posts, webpage, resource material, and we've been trying our best at short form videos. So it's it's a bit of a learning curve, but it's been going fairly well, I think. And then ongoing training for full-time staff, getting our applicator credits, things like that, first aid, anything we needed to update before the season starts. And then working on spring equipment, our 3-point sprayer, and that for doing the gravel pits is coming along pretty well. We did some changes to the UTV and sprayer skid that way, so we can switch it in and out a lot quicker between a sprayer, or sorry, a seeder that we have, because normally what we've been doing is using a UTV and a quad, but now with safety program changes and things like that, you have to cross train and have everybody go do ATV training plus UTV training, and I sort of want to omit that process of having to train for both things. We'll just get away from the ATVs. The UTV's safer. It's got a cab and seat belts and stuff, so we'll have that set up for this summer as well. And then we've been working with Stone Blue, specifically Sam Harrison, to improve our software in our spray trucks, because we have like a really good system in there, but as far as pulling the data and working with it and trying to integrate it, it's been kind of problematic. It's not very user friendly, so we're trying to get something that, just in my phrase, I guess, turns it into something push button, so it actually works, so we can utilize the technology we're paying for. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been up to as far as on the administrative side, and then we'll get into the extension and stuff like that. That's a big part of it.
Any questions for Rob on his report? I've got a couple.
Yep.
So strat plan, what is the plan, next steps, I guess, with this? What do you
Right now, Nikki's reviewing what we've got in the plan and any omissions and edits, I guess, and then the plan would be to bring it to the next meeting.
to this meeting? Okay.
Yeah, so then we should be able to just hammer it out at that one.
So our the intention then would be mid-April. We'll see that strat plan brought to this board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. When I read about invasive species, it got me thinking about hopefully some upcoming efforts around drones. And has the Ag Services or the county ever considered drone use?
Well, I'm pro drone, so I would consider it, but I don't know that we're there yet. But I'll probably buy one myself, and we can demo it maybe.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking that, some of the conversation we've had about gravel pits and the like, and assuming that the regulation changes, that it would be a good tool for that, correct?
yeah, I think any of those remote areas and where safety is a concern or whatever, I think it does have its application for sure.
All right, sounds like it's a topic for later, but I'll be interested to hear from that. When I read about the educational tour, the numbers in here, that's great work. Really glad to see it. I don't know if you can bring that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there was good numbers, big change from previous years.
Yeah, it's going really well. Like our first meeting with Miranda really helped kind of get things triggered and into all the schools. So we've had really great responses. And as of Monday, we start presenting with the Classroom Ag program, like in the classroom. So we've got that booked right for the next 6 weeks.
Okay.
So it's it's been pretty exciting.
The roadside control fact sheets, I seen in your report, you got those out. Were the retailers receptive?
I was actually surprised how receptive they were. excited to get them.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I thought they just throw them on the desk or whatever, but they were happy to have it helps them sell product too. But,
Right.
The more effective it is, the better it is for business too. So,
Okay.
they were happy to get it. So,
Good work there. I might be getting into the extension, I'm sorry.
that's all right.
Just Facebook impressions. I seen lots of Facebook, that was my last item. Lots of Facebook work. Do you think we're getting any reads or impressions?
Like total clicks, views, engagement, I guess so far for what we've posted, we're at 54,849. Views on our reels, we're at 9,256.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're definitely reaching a few people. it might just be me showing my wife over and over, but sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's actually going fairly well.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
Okay, just a couple of questions too, on that drone spraying. When I read that, I see the real advantage. Could it be used on the Red Deer River where we spend days with people and have spent with days in canoes and,
I think like you still end up out on the river to an extent, just because it has to be within line of sight, right? Just legally, but
Mhm.
depending what they come up with regulation wise, if they do adopt it within the same rules as aerial, then there would be special use approvals and different things that you could utilize at that point. But again, it kind of depends what they determine regulation wise moving forward, which hopefully is soon. But in that aspect, yeah, it would be a great tool.
okay, and just a point of clarity too, like you'd mentioned, or it had been brought up about the working with the schools on the, classroom ag program.
Yep.
We've got two programs kind of running side by side. And there's this one, and then we're also participating or supporting the, farm safety.
Yeah.
So just if we can, be supportive of both, because they're two different but two of the same type of things.
Yeah.
Because we're getting pushed back at that SRO meeting. Well, why are we doing two different things? And or two of the same things? Well, we're not. One's farm safety, one is ag knowledge too. So
Yeah.
it's just more of an information piece for you folks as you're going out there too, because they should be seeing that come forward. And we've seen great results. I was involved with the farm safety program with Conoco and found great response, especially from parents and grandparents, where kids were hitting them up with what they were doing at home on the farm after they'd been through the program. So, and not wearing helmets and not doing this and walking on ice and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So it was a good uptick from that program too. So just more information than anything on that.
Board Member Hunter?
Have you looked into the price of the drones?
They vary anywhere from, well, on the cheap side of a spray drone, you can get around 12,000 up to like $60,000.
But what about with the training?
Oh, as far as training for the drones, like, well, most of that's like online. Like you can literally do as far as the actual advanced flight training.
We're doing it, not we, Cross the Roads has done it, Gas Co-op, and they're in between $80,000 and $100,000
For
training and the drone to get certified and everything to fly it.
Andrew?
We do already have non-spraying drone use in the county, and so we do have some operators. I think some of the ag staff
yeah.
are trained in at least the basic license, and we've got some in the advanced license already.
So
I was just talking the drone, to be able to fly the drone.
yeah, so
Because otherwise it's got to be within sight or you got to take the training.
if you're using it commercially at all, it's got to be within, or you've got to have the training, I should say. Non-line of sight operations, you need a special flight operation certificate to even do, and special approvals. Like drone operations meant to be you can always see the drone.
yeah, and I'm under the impression anything applicator based will be line of sight. So you get your advanced level, and that varies anywhere from because it's the test itself for the advanced you can do online. It's $10 to get the advanced level test, and then it's $200 to $600, well, $200 to $1,500 to hire the peer review when you go actually fly it, and then you have your advanced level drone if that's the avenue you want to take. If you want to go through like a schooling process, like and have someone teach you every step of the way, I'm sure there'll be a lot more expense to it. But having gone through that process myself, that's
Well, they said they had to.
yeah, and okay, and then that might be like a board decision that they wanted classroom training beyond.
They said just so they could fly it, they had to do the special training. And I can get more information on why, but I know they did.
Right.
So that's all I know.
Okay, thank you all. Was there anything else regarding Rob's administration report? Can someone move that? Board Member Walker moves it. All in favor?
In favor.
Thank you. You'll give your extension report now?
Yeah. So onto the workshops and that we've already went over the Red Willow Calving Clinic, but there were some questions. There was a survey put out by the veterinary clinic. And anyways, the results of that survey, for the most part, I think the worst score was very satisfied. And questions were, how satisfied were you with the overall format of the Red Deer Calving Clinic? And in that one, there was 10 respondents, 9 were very satisfied, 1 was satisfied, and there was no other comments. Everything pretty well was very, very positive. We didn't have a lot of commentary back and forth other than, bring on another one. The one thing to note, I guess, from the survey was how people heard about the event. It was a tie 50-50 between social media and word of mouth as far as how people actually heard that event was happening. So that was all positive when it came to Red Willow. Battle River Research, we had the environmental farm plan workshop. It wasn't overly well attended. I think in the future, the one-on-one sessions, they seem to work well. And when you bring someone in, depending on how keen they are, like that EFP session can be an hour or it can be 4 hours, but you kind of have that variability to be like, okay, we're out of here. But when you do a workshop, you're sort of committed to like, okay, we're doing this for X number of hours, you're feeding people, whatever it's going to be. So I think in the future, we'll be looking at that one a little bit differently. Yeah, the Invasive Species Council had their conference, which is always a fun one to go to. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend all of it, but enough to get some credits. Their basic discussions, they focused on some spray drone technology, use of PPE, surface water monitoring, spray notification regulation, and emerging pests and things like that. So all in all, it was a pretty decent workshop, apparently. The Shelter Belt workshop is tonight at 5:30, and we've got, here it says 33, but I believe we have 36 people registered now. So that's actually fairly decent turnout. We weren't sure it was slow to pile up there, but we have some decent numbers. And then the crop disease information session is March the 26th. The uptick for that is fairly low. So like I know our contribution to that was fairly minimal. It was just some promotional stuff and that. So we'll see what that looks like next year if we'll do something along that same format or come up with something else. And then our educational ag tour, that's actually coming together fairly well. We met with the Ag Society and we've got 5 different ag stations in mind that we're going to set up. They've been speaking back and forth with some producers and things like that. So it looks like we'll have enough presenters and things to make the day fly. We're just coordinating the busing and details like that. So as it sits right now, we'll have approximately 180 students on May the 28th. So that's actually taken off a little better than we expected. So that's good. What else do we got? We have we've got the Shelter Belt deadline is March 31st for orders for that. And as well, our Richardson ground squirrel fact sheets, like we mentioned earlier, we'd given out 60 of them. So that actually went over quite well. And then our Shelter Belt tree planting guide, we finished creating that. So that'll get handed out at our workshop tonight. And we've been sending that out kind of via email when people have questions or whatever. So what else do we have? The Ag Bursary, promoting that. And then again, just promoting environmental farm plans and getting that stuff happening as a one-on-one. And we got our bait stations put out. And while we were doing that, we made a tutorial video while we were setting them up. So that'll be out on Facebook, I think, relatively soon, in the next day or so, I hope. Yeah, we have a total of 80 Facebook posts that have went out so far. So we're kind of like inundating our page. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of what we've been up to as far as outreach and extension.
Any questions of Rob?
Just a question about the environmental farm plans. Are they motivated primarily because of the off-calf? Or are they just updating it?
It's grant funding. Yeah, there's a lot of money in off caps, so that's kind of triggered people to get it done. And the process, I think, since 2022 has gotten a little easier as well. With some of the updates and that to the application and digital and whatever. So it's made it easier to actually go through the process. So people are kind of taking that on as well. Because back in the day when it was a giant binder, it was so cumbersome. It just didn't feel worth the effort a lot of times. So I do think that's definitely triggered it.
Board Member Nielsen?
I just wanted to just pass along. I think you're doing a great job. That Cabin Clinic, I've heard nothing but great things about it, and yeah, the work you're doing on social media is great. Just wanted to pass along. I think it's doing a fantastic job.
Perfect.
I had one request, maybe Rob, with these different programs, educational. If we can go back to that, wherever it is there. So this tour, so it's May 28th. That's when the students all come to the Ag Society.
Yep.
Then separate from that will be classroom, right? Is
Yeah.
that part of this or?
Yeah, it is. Like the classroom part is the primer for the
Okay.
actual 1-day event.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're trying to kind of streamline things together to.
And then, as per Board Member Clark's request, we can add a piece around that farm safety, whenever that's going to happen. Will that be fall, or do you have any idea when?
I'm not sure when they.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure in the dates, but just even to mention to the educators and stuff that it is well thought of by the county too, because it is something especially for our farm kids when it comes to quads and cattle and it touches on everything.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Board Member Stevens.
Just wanted to double check. Have we been in contact with Clearwater and their Ag Society to get kind of the pros and cons of what they've learned about their ag day that they hosted?
Yeah, we have been back and forth with them actually quite a bit just to see what's worked for them, what hasn't, and especially with like coordinating buses, chaperones, things like that. Our day is a little simpler. Like years ago, they used to do it at their Ag Society, but then when they changed things over and got rid of having dirt in there, I guess they ended up having to do it like on farm. And so we thought just for efficiency and that we have a great facility, so it's easy for us to do it there. And but yeah, they've been very helpful with this. So
Okay, anything else for Rob regarding his extension report? If not, can we receive that for information? Board Member Brooke, all in favor?
In favor.
Carried. All right, next up, board member report, sorry. Board Member Nielsen, can you give us an update on CFIA traceability?
Yeah. From the ASB meeting, or ASB AGM, I should say, we put forward that resolution that was drafted here with Rob and Farah, and it was a very well drafted resolution that's made its way through many organizations now. That same one that was passed at ASB, it's been passed at Alberta Beef Producers, Alberta Bison, Alberta Feeders Association, multiple ones in Saskatchewan. So it made its way around, and it's made a difference. So where we're at right now is everything has been paused, pending they call it the Traceability Summit, which is happening next week in Ottawa. So all our provincial and federal producer boards are meeting with the CFIA to hammer out what's going to happen. I think that'll also include, I know it also includes like our ag minister, Alberta ag minister. So they are all getting together in Ottawa next week to figure out what's next. But as it stands right now, nothing is moving forward until further notice. So it made a difference. It certainly made the industry take a second look at it, and I'm happy with what's happened.
Any questions of Board Member Nielsen? Board Member Stevens.
At our recent RMA convention, a very similar resolution was brought forward and passed. So it is being tackled from the RMA level as well.
Yeah, I saw that. That was one about talking about separating or CFIA being under agriculture portfolio versus the health minister, I believe. And that one was a common resolution among a lot of other organizations as well. And it's a very good one. And yes, I neglected to say that. I saw that the RMA passed that as well, and that is excellent.
All right, any other questions of Board Member Nielsen? Can we accept his report? Someone move that? Board Member Clark, thank you. All in favor?
In favor?
All right. We don't appear to have any board's requests for information. So business arising from the minutes. 8.1, request for a decision, pest and nuisance control policy. Rob, can you take this?
Yep. Yeah, so at our last meeting, we changed our beaver, or separated out our beaver control policy, and at the same time, we stepped away from selling gopher bait. And so in doing such, we had a few paragraphs to remove from the pest and nuisance control policy. So this is basically the updated version of the policy with the sales portion removed from that. So yeah, so we're just looking to get this reviewed and approved if it looks all right to you guys.
Board Member Clark?
Just a comment more than a question is up at RMA, strychnine conversation certainly isn't dead. And even at the provincial ASB, it's governed like that board meeting, there was discussions there again, and it sounds like it's still trying to be moved forward. So we don't want to lose sight to the fact that if strychnine becomes available, we have to be, we'll probably have to be quick to act on that too.
Yeah, and on that note, I was approached by the province a few days ago about some of our stats and information on the gopher problem and moving forward, and just how are we dealing with Richardson ground squirrels and the perspective of Stettler County. So I definitely painted a picture that we're pro strychnine. Like we have problems, and the bait that we do have is relatively ineffective in comparison. So I know they're working on some type of advocacy on the provincial level, and they just were reaching out to get stats and details from us. So they're definitely still putting effort into it, for sure.
Board Member Hunter?
Nate Horner's aide said Nate's still working on that when we talked. Just Monday, yeah, we met with her, and Nate still had that backdoor approach, how they're attacking it. So they sound pretty excited about it. So
Yeah.
And did you talk to him, Larry, or not about that? No.
Didn't talk to Minister Horner's office on it, but no, I talked to other ministers.
So I have a follow-up to this conversation. So if, let's say we're fortunate and we get approval, would this policy need to be adapted again?
No, because the issuance of like baits and things like that, we still can. We're just not in the market of sales like we were. This would put us back to kind of the days of strychnine. So if it does come back into play, this covers that.
So do we have it right that the policy a few years ago was changed to include selling of not strychnine, but the other products?
Yeah,
Now
the alternative
we've
baits.
struck that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. You have anyone in that would move? If there's no more discussion, anyone that would like to move this? Board Member Nielsen? So what, they've got the options there, the recommendations. Which one are you suggesting, Board Member Nielsen?
Sorry, I'm gonna back off my.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Anyone else?
I'll move that we approve the policy as presented.
And share with council for approval?
Yes.
Thank you, Justin. Any more discussion? All in favor?
In favor.
You're in favor? Okay. Carried.
Okay. Now, yeah, the Wheatland Summer Tour, there was some discussion about hammering out who's going to attend. Just everyone has a busy summer, and if we could, pick or choose who's actually going to attend the tour just as the days tick on here, just so everybody's registered and it goes smoothly, I guess. So, yeah, basically, I'm not sure how we're going through that process to decide who's going to go, but
Well, let's start. Justin, are you interested?
I'm interested, but I'm gonna bow out on this one.
Okay. Maybe go around the room.
I don't think I'll be able to go.
Okay. Thank you. Board Member Walker?
I will if we're short. I got something going on, but I can push it off if we have to.
Board Member Nielsen?
I would be interested in attending. Yep.
Okay. Board Member Hunter?
This is the one that three's going to?
Yes.
On this, so if, say 4 or 5 is going, do we draw the names out of a
Yeah,
hat?
I think that's what we do, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I gotta skip this one.
Okay. All right. Board Member Clerk?
I've been on them before. They're very good.
Mhm.
So, yes, I'd put my name down.
Okay.
I don't,
I'm interested as well. So if we sent myself, Board Member Clark, Board Member Nielsen, and of course Rob, does that feel like any concerns with that? If
I just have a comment even on picking the numbers. Usually with these, we found that if you don't get full board going at that time of year. So even as a go forward, if you open it up and let people respond to who could go and who couldn't, usually that's how you fill your slate up anyhow. So, yeah. And we need to have like our ASB people are very important.
yes. So just what you're commenting on, I believe, is just the process.
Yeah.
Process.
Just
Okay.
this process, yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you comfortable with?
With the 4, right? Like the 4
yes,
you're listing,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. It's
You-
as long as there's value brought back from it.
Yep. So are you okay with this process and making a motion here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make that motion, but I do think if we had it somewhere where everybody was interested, we'd really have to look at the criteria, because if we can teach our board,
Mhm.
that's what it's for. So. I'm not sure, it's what a person goes and what tours you attend and stuff, but there typically is always on them. There's something to learn for sure, depending on the host community. They haven't had them for quite some time, but the ones that we went on in the past were really good. There's a lot of effort put into them by the hosting ASBs and municipalities.
Many hands make light work. If I'm up.
Yeah.
Because I can push this off.
Well, if you want to attend, then I won't, because where our commitment was 3, and I'm okay.
You go ahead then. For sure.
No, it's okay.
Well, it don't matter if I go or not.
It-
I have on the 28th, I got it booked, but I can push it off.
It is one of those things, though. I do think you get your value out of it, and we never did have a cap on it before. It was who could go. Yeah.
Why did we help remind me? Last meeting, I think we did have a cap. For some reason, I was zoomed in.
You did it.
You put.
I don't
Did I?
think I don't think it's this tour, was it?
It was
Yeah.
for this tour, and there hadn't been a
Okay.
gap before, so
Okay,
if people can make it, and by the time the booking time comes, if you can put the names in, it was a very good session.
yeah, I think now I'm remembering, I think we had to make a decision around how many so that we can get ahead of the booking of the hotels or something. Does that sound right, Rob? And we could likely get another though.
But yeah, no, you wanted to knock down to 3 on that motion you made.
Last,
On you or on Zoom.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we can make a new motion. I'm okay with that. I wasn't in the room, but I wanted to move things along. And what I recall is we wanted to make, confirmation of the numbers, but I'd likely to.
It was, there was the room accommodations, but like typically with them too, if a cancellation can be an issue, you just have to make sure that you have your drop dead numbers of who's attending.
Okay.
And drop a room or gain a room if you need to.
Yeah, like I'd actually go but it's right in haying season, and if I got hay down, I'm not going, sorry. But if rainy spell, I'd probably be up
See.
for it. Unless, you guys all bring back, what, a 10-page study on this?
There was good comments last time. I don't know about 10-page studies, but
How should we proceed, Board Member Hunter? How would you like this next steps then? I'm not disagreeing with you, rather just wondering if we can move ahead here. How we might make a motion. Oh, Board Member Stevens.
If I recall, it was readily acknowledged at the last meeting that there is value in these. It was just trying to weigh the cost versus benefit. And what I've learned about some of our new board members or counselors is that when they go to these sorts of things, there's no shortage of information brought back in the report. So I have very little concern about that. To move things along, I'll make a motion of staff recommendation number 2 with the 3 reps that said they wanted to go, which are, correct me if I'm wrong, board member Nielsen, Gano, and Clark. And we can put board member Walker as the alternate if someone is unavailable.
I believe Rob had his hand in there as well, or did you not? Yeah.
Rob's listed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think the way it's worded is Rob or a designate. If he is unavailable, he would send Farah or whomever he chooses.
So we have a motion on the floor. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor?
In favor?
Carried. Thank you. And we'll move on to 9.1, new business, ag, water, well monitoring and policy.
Yeah, like there was some discussion around monitoring the water and things like that coming out of those wells and what we were going to do as far as managing moving forward. So we did a little bit of research and we narrowed it down to basically 2 companies that could provide some type of service where we could either have a fob system or just some way of digitally monitoring what's actually coming out of the ground and who's actually using the sites. The 2 companies that provide that service, the disparity between the 2 is quite a bit. One's like 60,000 and maybe 30 on the low side, and the other's 3,000. And so with Connex, we did some research with other counties just to see what their perception was and how it's been working for them. And it actually has been going really well for the cost of the service. And they haven't really had any complaints or whatever. It's just a matter of, do we want to spend $3,000-4,000 a site to get that information and have that moving forward? I mean, it allows us to have people register, and then we would know exactly who and how much water is coming out of that well. I guess that would help us determine our plan moving forward. But again, for information, if you guys want to maybe go that route or discuss those ideas.
Board Member Clark.
So Rob, that would be a $3,000 one, like one time until replacement was required hit, and then $360 a year.
Yeah, basically is like the setup's super easy. Like it's just it's a like a cellular controlled box.
Okay.
We just mount to the outside of the building, fob access, and it's low voltage, so there's a little transformer. It's very easy to hook it in line or whatever and make that system work. So
Remind me the driver for this.
well, the discussion is the continuation of the actual ag wells and what our impacts are on the actual water table and how much water we're pulling out for this free service. And should it be a service that has a fee associated, cost recovery? Just what are our impacts? So we just wanted to, kind of be in line with what is the uses instead of just guessing, I suppose.
Board Member Stevens?
I really like fee for service in general. I just question on these how that's practical. I mean, we ran into this with previously with some of our truck fills where we had a coin operated payment system available, and it cost us more to repair every time it got damaged and stolen than what we gained. So as much as I like the idea of a fee for service, I'm not sure how that is practical. And then I have one question about the cost. Is that per well? Because we have the 3 ag tank loader locations. Is that per well, or is that just
Yeah, it's per location.
cumulative?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the benefit, just so I understand, it's not so much, I guess we could charge people by volume, but it's more around understanding what's being used.
It's what's being used and people signing up for the actual usage of those wells. Yeah.
Board Member Clark?
It wouldn't surprise me in the future that we have to monitor what we are taking out of these wells from a water basis. And there is the 3 wells that we call them versus the truckload facilities. The truckload facilities, Councillor Stevens was talking about the coin operated pieces, but our truckload facilities now have a PIN situation with them. Some have a credit card too, don't they, Andrew?
Just our small one in Roshan.
Okay, that's the only one that has a credit card. The other ones have where you set a PIN up and you're basically billed for the water you use.
And some of them, Erskine and White Sands, for example, do still allow coin entry in those ones as well. And Erskine, Bymore, and Indiang have the ability to add credit card to it. They were, unfortunately, when we first implemented them, we were spending quite a bit more in fees on the credit card processing than we were getting from credit card transactions. So we discontinued that.
Okay, because with them there is the fee for service for that water. We have to. It's deemed that we have to pay for that water because it comes off the Shirley-McLean system or the Henry Kruger system. And typically they still have limitations on how much volume can be taken because of your tankage on site. So at busy times and spray times and stuff, we've had complaints there. The wells, we've had complaints there also too, but they don't come without a cost either. There's the yearly maintenance on them. There's your power bills. There was heat at one point, but we did set them up seasonally so that we weren't paying for propane tank rentals and propane on them. But then with them, there still has been some cases major vandalism, and we still have big users pulling into them trying to draw on wells. The one number last year was 7,000 liters at a pop. And for the wells where they could go to either Bymore or Indiang, in that case, that was 3.5 miles away from the well, Councillor Walker. And, so it is a choice on that piece too, where you do have a more controlled volume of water. And I talking to some other municipalities, they're concerned with their well operated ones too, because it does put a big draw on the aquifer. And I think this is where it would maybe head towards how much water is actually being used at them. Because we know by maybe people driving by and seeing the amount of trucks, but that's about how we know how much water is being drawn from those aquifers.
Board Member Walker?
Yeah, that water, the well at the Walker Place, it's spring fed. And that spring don't really drop a lot. Like it stays pretty constant at the level it's at. I don't know what it's, it seems to stay good, that one.
Can you help and remind me where the 3 sites are?
One at Nevis, just kind of
Okay.
Just for the trip to South Track, you turn left, you go around the corner. One's right there.
Okay.
One's at Scholar. You go down to 589 and go west. Down just past the Scholar Road, it's there, and the other one's right on 589 on the Bymore Road past Bymore. A quick question. If we just use debit cards instead of credit cards, are the fees better?
Only marginally. It was really the point of sale processing fees that were
Okay.
killing us.
Well, I just got told this from the store here in town that they hate it when people use credit cards, but they like it when people use debit cards. Right. So
So, sorry, Board Member Brooks.
So just to get it clear in my mind, so this system is strictly just to monitor amounts, right? And then, but it does give us the flexibility later on to use a fob system that then can charge for the water. Because it seems to me like water is becoming a really valuable commodity. And it does cost significant dollars to provide that service. I'm wondering, is there any other counties using the fob and how are they finding it as far as the vandalism?
they haven't really commented on any level of vandalism. I know Starland's using it, and they really like the system. It's working well. Panoka's installing this almost as we speak. They're getting this set up as well. But I'd heard a lot about vandalism, just the way the box is not really all that enticing to, what are you going to get really out of it? Because there's no box that's going to have coins or something that somebody thinks they're going to fill their pockets or whatever that way. I think a big thing too, like as much as it's water volume, it's also nice to have like who's using it. Like I don't want to single out anybody, but it's like if you have one producer using a well and there's nobody else really on it, and that's a giant spray program. Well, at some point, maybe you drill your own well and we don't provide that or whatever it's going to be, but we could at least pull from the data like what is going on at these wells. So
I noticed when I was at Flagstaff too. Yeah, you get the big guys coming in and they would actually empty, we'd have like 6 or 8 1,500 gallon tanks, right? And they would empty it all. So it's an uneven or unequal amount of service that's being provided by the people using that well too. If you happen to be the right person to get there. So definitely monitoring seems to be like a really good way to go.
With this system, we could bill. That's the intention.
you can, yes.
Okay. And do you know if it's the intention of Starland and Panoka to do that?
Panoka, I'm not sure. I'd have to ask them, but Starland, yes.
Okay.
That was, yeah.
Thank you. Board Member Stevens.
My question is around budget. In general, I'm supportive of going this route and getting that data. I think the information will be quite telling. We've long suspected that there's a handful of users that take the lion's share of the volume out of these wells, and we would actually be able to confirm that, as well as monitor aquifers. So I think that information would be good for our long-term planning. My question is, did we budget for this in our ASB this year?
We'll be close. I increased the budget, like we had 1,000 per well for maintenance and whatever in the past, and I did increase it to 5,000. So it'd be very close by the time we would get these in. Like I'm sure we'd be a little bit over, but we'd be very close.
Well, my thoughts are I would be supportive of the idea, But if we had to stage this, so we only got 2 purchased this year and got the 3rd next year, just so we can keep in budget, I'm not opposed to that.
Board Member Clark?
Yeah, and it really comes down to the point too, that this is written all over the face of it, that's non-potable water, et cetera. So, it does show you who your users are and the volume that's being used, and if they should be hauling potable water, they should be going to one of the truck fills. You know, if it is water for drinking or anything else, because, this is untreated, untested water, as that water comes out of a tap type of thing, so, or out of our hose. So I think the way it's going to be going, and there's been talk on water and wastewater. I do feel that we'd be ahead of the pendulum and we'd have our numbers in line on what we're using from these wells, because our truck fills we know what we're using. So as far as the treated water.
Regarding Board Member Stevens' comment about 2 and 3, is there some kind of economies if we buy 3 relative to 2? Can you comment on that, Rob?
Only in the setup fee, the one-time configuration fee, they were going to give us a deal on setting them up. So you just have, you know, an extra $500 later for that 3rd one when you did set it up. So, yeah, otherwise, and just another comment, like as far as like if we are issuing fobs or whatever, you know, people would sign up for those, and then we could have our, you know, our waiver and our intent and everything listed in that it's, you know, non-potable, and you acknowledge that too. Like it adds that level as well, other than just a sign on the wall saying that it is what it is. At least you've acknowledged that you've definitely picked up non-potable water. So,
And do I understand correctly from a process that if we were to make a motion, it would be a motion out of this board and we go to council for funding?
I think ideally, since it's financial, then yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, where are we at? Someone want to make a motion? Oh, go ahead.
Okay, here's got a sound up.
Go ahead, Board Member.
I'd like to move a motion that we purchase this system, including, well, purchase the system for monitoring purposes at the moment only. But I think in the future, we should also prepare to be charging for the water use. And this system will provide that. So,
For clarification, are you suggesting all 3?
yes, I
Okay,
am.
Thank you. Discussion? Okay, all in favor?
In favor?
Carried. Thank you. Next item, sorry, so that will go to, that motion, that will go to council. That will go, just so this board understands, that motion will be now taken to county council for consideration there as it is funding. Sorry to interrupt that. Next up, 9.2, weed matrix and correspondence.
yeah, so I thought I would bring this forward to the board just to get a feel for the opinions and things like that as what we're going to be doing moving forward. Because I know the weed inspections, notices, and that type of thing can be a bit of a hot topic and a sense of frustration for ratepayers and things like that. So what we've done is we've tried to really block things out and make it consistent. Because I noticed there's, you know, previously and in other areas I've been into, there's inconsistencies. So if you actually did have to enforce, the background information doesn't really support the weed notice and the actions taken. And generally, you if somebody appeals it and it goes any further than that, they'll usually win the appeal 9 times out of 10 if it's not really structured in a way that makes sense to the courts if it gets to that point. So what we've done here is we're looking to adopt this weed scoring matrix. This has been kind of ongoing. This was developed in the piece when I was up there, and it's been refined a little bit since. We've changed it to fit a little closer to what we have here. Knowing that it's a new thing, it's kind of given a little bit of grace, so the numbers have to score a lot higher to get a notice. But you know, our original intent here is to just get the information out there and that we're actually taking steps to, work under the Weed Act and work with people to get their weeds and things like that under control. So in doing that, we've created like door hanger templates, things like that we would hand out and hang on doors or whatever with the QR codes and things like that link them to the Alberta Weed Management resources, our Ag Service Board rentals. They'd have access to our sprayers, things like that. And then as well, so based on how they would score, you would end up with an information. You'd either have the door hanger, you'd end up with an information package, and then after you go through the process or whatever, and things got a little worse for you, or you didn't comply or whatever, then we would proceed with a notice. But our original intent would be to just educate and work with people, because it's rare that you actually have to give a notice. Like, most people are willing to work with us, especially if you're somewhat reasonable in your intent. So this is just basically what the package would look like. And if there's questions on this, this would be a great time, just because spring's coming and this is what we're hoping it'll look like. So
Can you go back to the first page? Would this would it be similar to what I'd see if I had property in Starland, Painter, special areas, or not?
I'm not sure exactly what their scoring template looks
How
like.
about the process? Maybe I should have asked that question.
Um,
Or do you have that knowledge yet?
Um,
Rob?
I'm not 100% sure of what their day-to-day looks like. But yeah, this process in general, like, though the tables might look a little different, is fairly common,
Okay.
I would say. It just creates a little bit of a consistency, because you are hiring seasonal staff, and it's a way to, like, knock out scoring without having a lot of personal interpretation to it, I suppose.
There's just roll down a little bit, Andrew, please. I think it was this one. Maybe it was the next one. I just noticed spelling. Thursday. The bottom there. 4 rows, the point system. You see that, Rob?
On your timeline one, your action deadline.
Oh,
Just a spelling error.
well, there we go.
And so, Rob, what were you looking from this board? Oh, I'm sorry, Board Member Stevens?
I like and appreciate the matrix, and I think it does something else for us. And thanks, Rob, for bringing this forward. When we do get into the rare occasions of enforcement, it is highly likely that whoever is getting the enforcement action states that it's some sort of personal grievance, or they're only getting it because of past issues, etc. But with a standardized matrix, it takes the name or who is being given the enforcement or the notice out of it. It's strictly numbers. This is the matrix. And it doesn't matter at that point who the person or landowner is. So I appreciate that part.
All right. Rob, what do you see as next steps here? Was this for information or?
Yeah, just if there was any, like, major objections to this process, because this is what we're hoping to roll with into the summer. So when I do hire summer staff, I'll be training them around this. But if there was any objection to that process, then maybe there'd be further discussion on how to massage it or change it a little bit based on the view of the board. Because ultimately, when notices and things happen, they're going to be phoning you guys, and like, I don't honestly see a bunch of notices happening. Like, I'm more than willing to work with people, and for the most part, people are generally decent to work with. But if it does happen, you'll be getting the phone calls. So I just want to make sure you guys are behind the process is all.
All right. Can we have someone receive for information? Board Member Walker, move that we receive this for information. Any more discussion? All in favor?
In favor.
Carried. 9.3 Veterinary Mentorship Program.
Yeah. So we've been working with the local vets and the schools to try and put together a bit of a process to have students apply and go through the steps to get a bit of time mentoring with the local vets and things like that. And so far, we've had really good response. For ourselves, we want to keep our hands in it, like sort of be a bit of a middleman on this one, just to ensure that the effort just stays moving forward and that annually it's promoted and the process is happening to just get young people engaged or whatever. So far, it looks like it's coming together quite well. There's not a lot more for information for you guys. This is what the program's kind of going to look like or whatever. So it does seem like the schools are on board and the vets are on board. So we'll probably have this out in the world here in the next week or so, and getting that happening. So,
Board Member Clark?
Is this an application process, or where do we find, because we do have some young,
yeah, and this will be through the career counselors at the school. They'll
Oh.
have these applications and be promoting them as well.
we currently have vets, young people going through veterinary schooling right now.
Yeah,
So I think in most cases, the vet clinics tell you who they were because they come back and work with them.
yeah,
So it's just that's something I've been really thinking, if we could promote within or help within, we could be bringing some young people back. Also at RMA too, there was a resolution. Let me think here. Was it RMA or the ASB that they would relieve? There's something that was brought through for student loans, and it was for doctors, and there was a listing of who was there. Vets weren't on it, but it was brought forward to add vets to that list if they came back to rural. So hopefully that gained some ground there. So we could have that financial attraction too for these young folks to come back to the rural communities to practice too. So,
and there was another program that between May 1st and August 31st, 2026, that eligible clinics can receive up to $10,000 in wage incentives. That just came out too. So,
okay.
but that's for students that are actively, in university studying veterinary medicine. So hopefully that'll help promote bringing them to rural Alberta as well. So,
Just, if I could, so the resolution was passed at 86% inclusion of veterinaries and animal health technicians in the federal student loan forgiveness program. So that passed at RMA this week. I see Board Member Stevens.
I know we haven't made any formal decisions on the partnership with Clearview and the surrounding municipalities about grant funding, but I would just like to put it out there. If we do decide to participate in that program, I think whoever we have as a representative should be pushing hard that vet is one of the trades included in that, as I think that's a huge need for our area.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking for the name of that program now. It's the Clearview School Division Return to Service Bursary and Award Program. So I think what you're saying, Board Member Stevens, is that we need to keep both of these in mind, tied together in some manner.
I like that we're making arrangements and being the middleman, because I mean, for young teenagers applying to college and trying to plan their careers and funding, it can seem a little overwhelming. So some assistance from our staff and introducing them to the people that they would need to mentor under is a great step. I just want to be cognizant that if we go to financial funding at the other one, bursaries and return to service, that we need to push hard to make sure that vets are included in that, not just random trade, so to speak.
I guess as a council, we'll keep that in mind as we see the that topic come before us in the coming months. All right. There was no decision here, Rob.
No, it's just-
Again, for information.
yeah.
Could I have someone move that to receive that for information? Board Member Walker. Any more discussion? All in favor?
In favor?
Carried. pasture rejuvenation workshop.
Yeah, at our last meeting, there was some discussion on potentially having a pasture rejuvenation workshop in the summer. And what I'm looking to see is if and when and what exactly as the board we would like to do there. Just takes a bit of effort to put it together, and if it's something we want to do, what would we like it to look like? And yeah, if there's any feedback from the board on something along those lines.
Board Member Nielsen?
I know the Battle River Research Group is doing work on this. They have a plot on my land actually, and so if you want to, talk to them about putting on a workshop, they're well versed in doing that too.
Board Member Hunter? I think this topic was kind of close to you. Any thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, me and Rob talked about some of the land next to us. I didn't know if that's available. We're gonna do a little bit of seeding there, different grasses, and if that was an option or.
We're still figuring that out.
Yeah.
You're talking the piece east of operations, like of our building there. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out the details there, if we can play around in that spot or not. So
Have you had any discussions with Alicia on that hayland yet? East of the shop?
yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, because he'd brought it to me that he would really like to see something to increase volumes, whether it was breaking it up or whatever we were to do. So
Yeah, we're actually going to be meeting with him, I think, in the next week ish.
yeah, I'd asked CEO Cassidy yesterday, and she said she thought that's what was happening. So
yeah, and then maybe we can work a plan into that with a bit of research as well. So might be a win-win. But and I guess as far as a workshop, would we want anything to be tour based potentially? Like if there's other projects going around in different areas throughout the county, or is it just we pick a location and we have an outdoor training session? Like just trying to get a feel for what we might want. Maybe August.
Board Member Nielsen?
So when it comes to this, like I've done a fair bit of this myself, and you won't probably be able to seed something, early spring and see much of a difference by, middle of July or something by summer. It takes time. You seed something this spring and you'll probably be able to see a lot of difference the next year. A workshop, the first year workshop would probably end up having to be just your best practices for seeding I guess I'm saying results won't really be noticeable in the first year, no matter when you do the workshop.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking if there were sites that we already knew had some progress or whatever, and if there was any comparatives maybe around the county. I mean, we can do a classroom type workshop as well. That's totally fine. But I guess whatever the intent is, I can make something happen if that's what we're wanting to do. So.
And Battle River Research Group, again, is probably someone good to talk to because they did start a plot last year on our place.
Board Member Hunter?
There was a couple quarters down by me that was seeded December 15th, 2 years ago. So that should show some promise this year for sure. I can go look at it and get back to you, Rob.
Okay.
So where do you think you're at, Rob, here?
So I guess the consensus then is that we do move forward with putting together some form of a rejuvenation workshop. Is that where we're at? Just sometime in the summer. We'll try and figure it out. But if that's the consensus, then we'll put some energy into it and try and get the details and come back to the board, say in April, if that makes sense, with a bit of a plan as to what we'll see.
Sounds good to me.
Board Member Clark?
I agree 100% with this part, but the one fact we got to look at until strychnine is back and approved, so much of your rejuvenation may be ripping land up to try and get rid of the gopher and badger holes too at the same time, especially on hayland. So like that'll be an important part of these two going together, is you keep your land at a suitable cover on top. Mm-hmm. So But I do agree with, if we can do some tests, but it's one more push on that too.
Board Member Stevens?
Just a question, what is our ultimate goal? This is definitely a huge potential win for our area to increase education, but what is our ultimate goal with a pastor rejuvenation workshop? Is it to educate the board or to educate the public? Because in a lot of ways, for this to actually get maximum benefit, we have to find a way to disperse this information out to our residents.
Yeah, my goal would be to have, excellent turnout. Hopefully by then we have enough, like with our outreach and things like that, we seem to just making a steady uptick. So if it was an outdoor workshop, sky's the limit as far as people showing up. But I think the goal in my mind is, with all the drought and everything that is happening within the county, is that we're teaching some best practices for drought resiliency, and a lot of that is proper cover cropping and land management. So I think some of that does definitely play into the community effort, I would suppose, of a workshop like this. I think there's a lot of knowledge out there that can be had by everybody, but that would be my view.
Okay, feels like you'd like to bring something back next month, Rob? Does that
Sure.
sound? Okay.
Yeah, I think we can make something happen for then.
Do we need to do anything here? Receive that for information or anything?
Yeah, receive for information never help.
Okay. Thank you, Rob, for the information. Could someone move that we receive it? Board Member Brooke? All in favor?
In favor?
Carried. 9.5, attendance, Battle River Research Group, AGM, March 26, 10 a.m. at Halkirk.
Yeah, I was curious if any board members did want to attend the AGM. We do have a lot of discussion around Battle River and the information and the things that they have going on. I just thought maybe, well, either myself or a couple folks want to sit in on the AGM and get an idea of what's happening there. I don't know if we have to formally make a motion. I don't know how it works for whether members get paid, if we can make a motion in the ASB to make that happen, or because I know if you show up outside of it, it's not really a paid event, but I think it's worth the effort to at least have somebody go and get a handle on what's happening throughout the year. And my thought as well is that maybe we'd have them come in as a delegation after the fact. We'll go to their AGM, figure out what questions we have, and then have them come in for a delegation, because that was part of their grant funding from us that they would present. So yeah, just if anybody would like to.
Rob, how long of a meeting typically is that? Did they show a timing?
Well, this one's going to take, how much time? 10 a.m. This is probably going to be till, I'd say 2 or 3 o'clock, because there is some like training and stuff in there as well, right? So
A full day meeting.
yeah.
We might review council decision. What was that? We said that as council and at the organizational meeting that we were not going to put someone on the board. Is that right?
That's correct, but we still could, the AGM is what's going on with the board. We're still paying our, you wouldn't call it is it a membership fee, Andrew, or would it be a yearly cost? Or
It is a conditional grant.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
And are having them come in and do presentations and stuff. So I do see there could be some value, somebody sitting at the AGM and seeing what's going on too, but it is another day.
I'd be willing to go.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I think what may be up for discussion is whether it's a paid ASB day or not.
It's probably up to the board.
Mhm.
Actually, that one is a council decision under our
Is it council?
remuneration policies. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right. So we would, do we have a council meeting?
We have a council meeting next Wednesday, but
Day before.
the day before.
Okay.
There may be, let me see if I can find some flexibility. in that policy, it's possible the reeve or the CAO can authorize it when there's not significant time.
Counselor
Board,
Elizabeth, is that-
Board Member Stevens?
Well, for one rep, for one day, I don't think the cost is very substantial. So I would be comfortable making a motion to recommend that council approve Board Member Brooke going to the AGM.
Board Member Brooke?
Don't pay me anything. I'll go because I'm interested.
Yeah.
It's free.
Thank you for that. We should though, I think if still pay you if to attend. So we have a Board Member Hunter.
Is this open to how many?
And anybody can go to this. Yeah, it's open.
Do we have to send a attendance or who's coming or anything?
Yeah, I can send it in.
And what was the date? Do we have anything on?
I don't think so because I know I'm busy on other things.
Like I'd go and I don't care if I get paid or not, so it don't matter to me. If I'm free, I'll probably end up going. Yeah, I should be free.
The other tie into this is, and we'll talk about it in a bit, but you know, the longevity of the research center at Lacombe is short, likely, and so I think we have to decide as a county if we're going to get more involved with Battle River. So I think this is very timely that we're having this discussion. Okay, we have one motion on the floor. Justin, do you want to change yours or not?
I will accept it as a friendly amendment for Board Member Hunter to adopt it to or amend it to 2 reps.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
In favor.
All right. We'll have to make sure that's on council, I guess.
We do have, sorry, I did just find, we do have the option that it's either council must approve it or reeve and the chief administrative officer acting together can approve it as well. At lunch, yeah.
Okay, are we? Okay.
Maybe we can avoid an extra RFD.
Okay.
I'm already throwing a bunch of things at Rob to say, hey, bring this back again and again.
Rob, when do you have to have those in?
I think we're okay. We'll have
Okay.
time. We'll be fine.
Board Member Hunter?
That really don't matter if we don't care if we get paid. We can you can mark us.
Yeah, I'll get it in there today. Just
Oh, Councillor Stevens?
With that new information, to clear this up clerically, do you want me to table my motion or withdraw it?
No, the motion as voted on is fine. It's still a recommendation that council approve it, but it can be functionally intercepted during the council agenda setting if they're even the CAO want to approve that request under their own authority.
Works for me.
Thank you, Andrew. 9.6, Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors Resolution Response.
yeah. So we just received the response letter from the Provincial Ag Service Board Committee, and yeah, basically their response doesn't really sort of take into context the nature of the resolution. I know it's a little early because it's only one of the responses or whatever, but I was just curious what the board's looking at as far as like future action, things like that. What are our options as far as advocacy moving forward, or are we just going to sit back and see what the other responses are from the other ministries and go from there?
Board Member Stevens?
I think our advocacy should center around the minister's mandate letter. And for a couple mandate letters, it suggested that they need to start a rural water grant funding stream. And I think this is in line with what the minister has been instructed to do. So our advocacy should be pushing him to honor that mandate letter and see what outcome they come up with.
I've got some work to do. I'd like, and I will talking to council about this. I ended up sitting, Clint and I did, with Minister Hunter, who expressed some desire to learn a little bit more about this topic. He's the environment minister. So we've got another minister asking to learn more. So I'll be talking to council about how we might respond to that request. So that's one thing that's related. Go ahead.
The whole issue on water and ministries is there's multiple ministries involved, and there's one ministry that typically has their, or I guess our MLA and the Minister of Finance typically has the last word on this. But with what we're dealing with, I know from our water line basis and our transmission versus distribution lines, that falls under Minister Drazian. And I'd made at the Bear Pit session, I asked that question to Minister Sorgensen yesterday, because knowing that Minister Drazian's the one that has to approve, but was kind of putting it at the table so they all can talk about it, because we've got the Minister of Environment, who was the Associate Minister of Water up to when they just had the cabinet shuffle, and then Minister Drazian. And there's one other minister involved, but Minister of Agriculture is not at that table. So I'm pushing right now, and I've pushed to Minister Horner's office that to get all these people working together, because if we have any programs out there, they need to work together. Minister Sorgensen, his solution to our water issue was either to give licenses to pump water or to drill wells. And I talked to him last Thursday up at, we were at a Rural Water Commission meeting, and talking, about costs and about the act. But I caught him at that meeting, and he wasn't at the meeting. He was at another meeting in the same building. And, I said, it doesn't help people that don't have water to pump or can't drill a well. And when I say can't drill a well, I don't mean they physically can't. I mean, if they drill a well, it's just another dry hole to prove that they have no water. So I think we're going to get those conversations going. I'm going to propose that we put another letter into all those ministries, including including our MLA and Minister Horner, just to try and get these groups talking together, because we've got so many pieces in this province with different issues that we need to start, focusing some things and maybe get some long-term plans in place too. So that's just an update from this week.
Board Member Clark, what would you suggest from an ASB perspective we do with this response to the larger provincial board of ASB?
I think we have the provincial advocacy work for agricultural communities, but you were in that session yesterday where we had some questions come up too, challenging the use of water for fracking versus agriculture. So I think we need to all push, but from agriculture itself, I think we need to push that Minister Segerson gets involved with this other group, because then he should have an equal voice at that table. So as they're working through these processes, Andrew, the study that came out, was that about a year ago, where it was for opening up water grants? What was that?
So so we've had two different mandate letters that have been given to the transportation minister. And I will qualify, it's not specifically for rural water. It is for an integrated water management program for grants for agriculture, residential, and commercial. However, that was the first time we'd ever seen any reference to a water program for agriculture, speaking to treated water anyways. So,
but that first rollout of it didn't really talk agriculture, which we've been trying to hold people back to that letter.
It also wasn't integrated.
No, it wasn't integrated whatsoever. So,
Instead of saying, hey, we've got these few grant programs, we're gonna merge them together, they said, we're gonna add one more.
yeah, so I think if we push through agriculture and up, to, you know, that the Minister of Agriculture starts working with these other groups, which he wants to. It's just he has to have that invite to the table too.
So do I understand, this response came to the provincial committee?
Yes.
So, I have not spoke to the provincial committee about this letter. Rob, have you, by chance?
I've not, no.
I wonder if that's the start and around, and maybe get their suggestions around how we might respond. Board Member Stevens.
Just another note on that mandate letter. So further down, it is continue to partner with rural municipalities to expand water, bridge, and local road infrastructure. So they do mention rural specifically on this one, just further down.
I have a feeling they mean the Alberta water wastewater program in that, which we are not optimistic. I think they're talking about making the existing grant programs work there. And those existing grant programs don't do us any good for what we're looking for.
Board Member Clark.
This letter is dated March 2nd, and there has been a lot of things discussed since March 2nd. So I think if ASB, you know, through ASB, if we can keep pushing for the for rural water up to and including watering cattle, and for multiple programs, you know, from drilling wells to pumping water to try and get pipelines in the ground that we can get water to producers so that they have water to water their cattle. I think that's what we have to do.
So I think what I'm hearing is that, Rob, you or I need to speak to the provincial committee about their suggestions on next steps, and we bring it back to this meeting.
Sure.
That. All right. Andrew, we don't need anything on that.
Nope.
Okay. Do you want one? Okay. Could someone make a motion that we've received that correspondence for information? Board Member Walker, all in favor?
In favor.
9.7. I'm going to say Wormwood bylaw because I'm not positive how to say that. Absent?
Yeah, the reason for bringing this forward is just to get everybody, you know, up to date, new board members and things like that. Like this was introduced December the 8th, 2011, and that's when it was elevated to noxious weed. There was questions whether other counties had done this as well. Strathcona County and Flagstaff are the two that I know of. I don't know of any others, but those have elevated as well. And just that we're still on board with the process and having it elevated as a noxious within the county, just for when we move forward with our weed inspections in our program this summer, that's current and something that we support, I guess, as a board.
Any discussion? Board Member Nielsen?
Does this change your weed matrix? Because I saw in the matrix it was a -3 for absent.
Well, basically we have it as a -3 on our matrix because it's very widespread, and so just the way the scoring works, that if it's a new weed that's not common in the county, it in that category receives a higher score because our activity could be like, hey, we could nuke this and get rid of it fast if we have a lot more effort around it. Whereas Wormwood already is kind of getting very widespread, so that's why it receives a bit of a lower score, because it is across the board. So
If it weren't for this bylaw, it wouldn't be on the rubric at all because it wouldn't be a weed basically.
yeah, we wouldn't be able to enforce it all.
We'd have no
Yeah.
authority.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense to go in very heavy-handed on something that's everywhere, right? So.
Board Member Brooke?
Just speaking from experience, the town of Stettler also has free topsoil available at the dump, right? It's polluted with the stuff as well.
All right,
Just one.
Board Member Nielsen.
This ties into what we were talking about earlier with drone. I see a few products have been now approved for drone use. I didn't look at which products they were, but wormwood tends to grow in very difficult areas to get conventional sprayers in. I don't know if anything's been approved for that yet. Have you seen?
Not yet. But hopefully soon. Yeah. There's
Board Member Clark.
And this reflects to, like this has been one of my pushbacks right all along is if we push it just strictly back onto the landowner to handle this, we've got a pile of acreage owners that it's very loaded on. And they don't have the equipment, they don't have the spray expertise, they don't have any of those pieces. So if we're going to keep, and not to move it from the noxious weed, but go with the scorecard, et cetera, I think we have to be able to offer that solution for like a fee for service if we truly want to get ahead of it in the county of Stettler.
And I think that's where like our first process is kind of education, and we do have our rental stuff, and I'm hoping that we can expand on that. Like I know when I was in the piece, we had a pretty robust rental program, and then we also did have contract sprayers and things that we would hire to take on acreage work and things like that. I have been doing some research to see if there are companies in the area that'll do it. We're we're somewhat limited. There's maybe 2 or 3 that would come in. I'm thinking if we could coordinate on a bigger scale, we might be able to get some outfits from a little further away if they had, a week's worth of work or whatever it would be. But the one-offs are somewhat limited, or they'd be costly if we were pulling contractors out of other areas. This year, I'd be a little bit apprehensive within the Ag Service Board parameters to be out there doing a bunch of secondary spraying. So I'm really focusing on getting our gravel pits and right-of-ways and things like that cleaned up. So I'm just not sure yet how much time that we would have to allot to it, but I'm definitely behind it. It's just I'm not sure that I'll be able to make the time to really have an impact if we were going to step into that realm of doing some spraying and that for people as well. So
It's been discussed many times at this table at the past, and it hasn't really moved forward. So in the past, we did have through our Ag Services group where we did have fee for service on it, and that's how we did get ahead of these what were outbreaks, but now are quite common. So it's just that's one thing we need to focus on, because it doesn't matter what part of the county you drive in, you see spots where it's just absolutely loaded. As far as the rentals go, there's just a lot of people that buy acreages, and especially now, that just absolutely don't have a clue on how the equipment works. They're scared of anything that says spray on them, and that's the fallout of this.
Board Member Walker.
Having said that, there probably is options on who to hire to do that. Like I've sprayed my own place because of that, but there's people that do that for a living as well, right?
We've did the searches in the past, and most of the ones in this area were dedicated to the oil field and weren't interested in doing the small one-offs.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of, the oil field.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's for those guys, it's relative to risk. It's easy to be out in the oil patch, and if you nuke an extra tree or whatever, it doesn't really affect you too much. But when it's an ornamental in somebody's yard, it has a big impact. So for them, it's just there. It doesn't weigh out for a lot of companies. But in the past, like I've definitely been a supporter. Like we had a 2-acre spray program that we had up north, and then anyone that was along the shoreline of the lakes, now we tried to get involved because we just didn't want to have mistakes for people that aren't familiar with mixing chemicals. So it's definitely something I'd support getting behind it. Just honestly not sure the capacity of what we'll be able to accomplish, but we'll see what we can do.
All right. Any more discussion about Wormwood and the bylaw? Have someone move that we accept that for information. Board Member Walker. Any more discussion? All in favor?
In favor.
9.8, Bashaw Recycle Tour. I don't think it's in the package, Andrew. Is that addition?
Yeah, so as far as the tour to Bashaw Recycling, after speaking with them now, they're pretty much open to any date we pick. And he said it would be much easier if we picked a date and they worked around us versus the other way around, because they'll just make it work. So if as a board we want to pick a date that works for everybody and see we want to go, they're more than willing to accommodate. So
Can you describe a little bit about what we'd see?
well, the basic operations of breaking down those grain bags that we that we keep collecting or whatever, and right to the pellet process, and just how the whole situation really works there from start to finish. Actually, it's a pretty good tour. And then we're hoping as well to have a presentation from Davin with Clean Farms at the same time on that day, to just kind of have a, hey, here's what's going on in the world of recycling as we see it. That's what I had in mind anyways. So, and they have a boardroom at Bashaw that we could probably have him zoom in and do that part of the presentation. So
Any thoughts on the table here around the appropriateness of us going? How many would be half day, you're thinking?
yeah, if we went in the morning, we could be back by 1-ish probably.
We have, seems like through history, I guess, had ASB, and then we generally had many of us attend a meeting in the afternoon. Would it be uncommon for us to break that up and have kind of a morning meeting and then go to Bashaw and then have to move MPC or not? Is that a possibility? I'm just throwing it out.
MPC is always bound by legislative timelines, so a predictable cycle on that one is pretty important.
Okay, so your suggestion would be that we just pick an alternate date?
Yeah.
Rather than our ASB date? Okay.
I guess though, Andrew, you could change your ASB meeting date though.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could definitely do that if you wanted to
Yeah.
have your ASB right before or right after your tour.
Maybe we should ask around the table, who would be interested or not interested in going? Anybody? Would you make time to go if we picked the right date? Probably not. Okay, you would. Okay. Justin's. I'll pick a date for him. You'd know.
I'd be interested if it's her.
All right. Looks like we have interest. Now the hard part, trying to figure out a date. Do we have any suggestions?
I see Andrew's moving his mic and going onto his. They might be trying to find one for us too.
Yeah.
I think we should ask them what days, are they open at all days?
Well, yeah, kind of any Monday to
Okay.
Friday, but he was adamant that we just pick a date because they always have stuff on the go, so there'll be no, he just preferred it that way. So
Are we thinking April, May? Let's start with months.
April would be all right.
Okay.
Because May is going to be really hectic for us.
April 2nd is open. Mind you, it's just before Good Friday, but it is open for admin and council. And the 17th is open, it looks like, and the 24th. You seen that, Andrew?
Yeah, I also see the 9th is open unless you're looking to go.
Yeah, just Shirley McCollum in the evening, right?
Oh, I have not scrolled down far enough to see my evening meetings. Yeah, yeah, so it's possible.
Yeah, I would not be available on the 17th, just the way it works out. But the other two, what did you say, 24 and 2?
The 2nd and the 9th, maybe?
Yeah, 2nd, 9th, 24th.
The 21st is open too. Got nothing for either.
Anyone want to make motion? What time of day would you suggest? Board Member Walker?
Get up morning, let's get her done.
What are you thinking, Rob? What works for you?
Morning, I'm good. If you guys
We'd
wanna be there.
meet at the shop at 8,
Yeah,
something like that?
something like that, yeah. Good.
So what I'm hearing about your motion is the 9th, 8 o'clock at the county shop.
April 9th.
Any more?
I was just wondering, like, for Larry, like, for
If-
Gavin and
I'll say I'm going, but it depends on the morning at 8 o'clock because I don't like mornings at 8. I don't like meetings at 8 o'clock in the morning, and depends on what's happened the night before, but that could be if it's 10 o'clock too. So I will say I'd go, but I wouldn't be meeting at the shop. I'd be heading straight from home.
Is 9 better? Like, it doesn't matter.
No, eight's fine, but it's just if it doesn't, if I'm not there, I'll be texting somebody and saying I'm not there, and I probably won't be meeting at the shop because I'll be heading straight from home.
And if you're doing that, I'll have you check the crew that I'm trying to cav out.
You
at the
betcha.
same time.
Yeah.
the only reason maybe for Rob be 9,
Okay,
you didn't get your,
let's go to 9.
everything, your ducks in a row before the day starts.
I'm always there at 7. so-
Okay, no, I just
Yeah.
threw that out there.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be up whether or not. Let's go 9. Then maybe
9 o'clock,
Okay.
I'm hearing on the 9th at the county shop.
Okay.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
In favor.
Thank you, Justin. All right, correspondence. Is Brazeau County, Clearwater County, and Strychnine. I think Board Member Brooke, you wanted to talk a little bit about 10.2.
Yes. The closing, federal closing of the research stations, not just in Lacombe, but throughout the country. It seems to me that it's a very short-sighted way to save some money because they're talking $160 million. There was an interesting article I was reading that said there was an extra $300 million added to off-CAF recently. And that if you actually took that money and put it into the research or just part of it, you could save those stations. Because the thing is, research is one of those things that, yeah, it's easy to chop, but the amount of information and the amount of long-term research that's been chopped as well is gone. Like Lacombe had the forage research. That was Vern Barron was doing that. He's gone. And the expertise that we lose as well. I think the only person I'm aware of that actually got transferred to another research station is one of the weed scientists. But it reduces our capacity, and it also reduces not just the capacity to do the research, but also to apply it to the problems and the issues we're seeing in agriculture today. And it's not just the federal government. It happened with Alberta Agriculture when they in 2020, when they got rid of all the researchers, and about maybe a quarter to a third of them actually got onto the colleges, but that was funding for only 3 years. And, you know, I know quite a few of the researchers there and talked to ones elsewhere. And it becomes very difficult. They're supposed to be doing research, but they spend probably 50% of their time pursuing dollars. And they also have a crew that allows them to get the work done. But they're all gone as well. And there's a tremendous pool of research and expertise in the fields of weed science, variety selection. It's just out the door, and it's not coming back if we do lose it. So that's why I'm thinking there's got to be some other alternatives. My impression with the federal government, with their cutbacks, when they said we're going to cut federal government, but it was just sort of 10 or 15% across the board in each department, not looking at various programs as to what value there is there. So that's why I would like to see at least support of this letter. By maybe we write a letter as well.
Some follow-up information. We were at RMA this week. There was a resolution, reversal of the decision to close Lacombe Research and Development Center, and it was passed 90%. So that happened. Also, there was advocacy at this standing committee, right? Maybe, I don't know. Larry, can you speak to that?
Yeah, and actually, we'd started through RMA, we started this even before the resolution came to us because there was such pressure at district meetings. And we do have an advocacy group in, through our RMA in Ottawa. And part of that has been that the mayor and the reeve of Lacombe, city of Lacombe and Lacombe County have been down there already, meeting with them. There's another meeting set up. So, and now through with this being true through RMA, this whole process will be followed through, Harry. So, we from all of the 69 municipalities, well, whatever that percentage was times 69, we're in favor of this going forward. So,
Board Member Hunter?
Yeah, it's been kicked around quite a bit, and I think everybody's given it total support. And I think listening to John Ireland there from Reeve of Lacombe is that they probably won't get closed, but the numbers might get dropped, because he just said what they put in about $14 million in HVAC system there. And so they're hoping that the numbers he just dropped, not closed, because there's 7 across Canada got scrapped, and he's hoping.
Board Member Clark?
and I guess just on a positive note, there'd been the announcement quite a bit earlier that Fairview College was being closed, and it's been reversed now. So let's we keep the pressure on and try to maintain this to keep between education and the research, and the crop and animal varieties have come out of these research centers.
Board Member Nielsen?
I just want to add, Lacombe is the place for beef cattle research for all of Canada, right? They have 300 mother cows, and they take them all the way through slaughter and feeding. And there is no other place in Canada that does what they do. So yeah, it's a big deal. Lacombe, whatever we can do to add support, I think would be a good thing.
Andrew, sorry. You're thinking with that? I just wanted to look at the letter again. So this appears that it was wrote on behalf of the county council and Ag Service Board. Would our Ag Service Board like to send a letter of support? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Haven't we done that already?
Through our council, but yeah, it could go through our Ag Service.
I thought we did it through ASB too. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to make a motion then?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we send the letters in support of the Clearview County letter, but also maybe do the broader scope of not just Lacombe, but also there's the other ones across the prairies, Indian Head, Scott Research Station. They're all valuable because there's not that many of them in the country as it is. And I think what they've done is they've chopped, so there'll only be one research center in the entire black soil zone, which is just not sufficient to get good data.
So to if you could just reframe that again.
Okay,
Who is the who are we sending it to?
Probably sending it to the agriculture minister, whatever his name is, in
Federal?
support of reversing the cuts to the Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada's elimination of all the planned cutbacks on the research centers.
That's fine.
Don't cut them.
Rob, do you think we have enough there?
Yeah, I think we can. Krista can make that motion.
Okay.
Perfect. All right.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
In favor?
Carried. All right, so we had 3 pieces of correspondence. Any more discussion on that correspondence? Could I have someone move that we accept that correspondence?
I'll accept that.
Board Member Hunter, all in favor? Carried.
In favor.
Finance,
Ooh, finance, yeah, it's still early in the year, so we're definitely on track. I guess we're going to be maybe a little off track with the wells, but we'll be really close. Yeah, there's nothing that stands out. We haven't had anything alarming really happening yet, so we're pretty well on track for all our workshops and things like that. I think even with the e-tour, I was a little concerned, but it sounds like I'll get the final numbers back on the busing and things like that, and we should be good. So.
thank you, Rob. Someone want to move that for information? Board Member Walker, all in favor?
In favor.
Workshops and events? Was there any, I think the information is in the package. Is there anything there that we need to discuss? Any questions?
I think we'd went through everything, really, other than it's just with the crop disease information center, it's the same time as Battle River, AGM. They're both April 26th. So, we've kind of went through everything and made a decision, I would think.
Are you moving?
I will accept for information or whatever we require on that. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't see any other discussion, so all in favor? Carried.
In favor.
All right. We do have an in-camera session on the agenda.
Yeah, just a quick
Okay.
update. Yeah.
Could I have someone move us in camera? Board Member Hunter.
I'll so move.
Just waiting to vote.
Okay. All in favor?
In favor.
Are we back live?
Yes, you are.
Point 14, next meeting. I think it's scheduled for April 15th, 10 to 12. Is that right? Someone want to make that motion? Yes. Board Member Walker, all in favor?
In favor.
And finally, someone want to move adjournment? Board Member Walker adjourn the meeting at 12:14. Thank you all.
Okay, I'll-